Okay, Hannah, today I'm going to ask you some questions with regards to evaluation question 7, which is looking back at your preliminary task. What do you feel you have learned in the progression from it to the full product? So the first question is, what did your preliminary task involve?
Well, my preliminary task, I was in a group with 2 other people, and we had to show someone walking through a door, sitting down and holding a conversation. And in this, I used over-the-shoulder shots mainly in a reverse shot sequence. And so Rochelle walked through the door, sat down, held a conversation whilst the shots were happening, and it was over-the-shoulder shot, reverse shot.
Okay, so for the second question, how was it different to the experience of making your own film opening?
It was different because with my preliminary task, I used Windows Movie Maker, which was a much more basic editing software. And for my final cut, I used Adobe Premiere, which is obviously more difficult. The preliminary task was more relaxed, and obviously my final cut was more stressful to cut in places. And I had more thought about my final cut rather than the preliminary task, because the preliminary task was an experiment, so it was quite a laid-back process.
Okay, so what skills do you feel you've learned across both products?
Both projects I've learned how to edit properly on 2 different formats of software. I've learned different camera skills, how to do casting and call sheets and location scouting. That was quite important for me because I had to make sure that all my locations and my casting was right, and I had to produce different call sheets, which I never had to do before. So I've learned all of these things and how to update them to my blog and use different softwares for different things. And I also learned how to incorporate Photoshop within Premiere for my final piece, so that was quite fun.
Okay, and how has your work improved from the preliminary task to your final film opening?
I think the most important thing was the fact that I had more time. With my preliminary task, it was a short task, there was an experiment, I spent more time thinking about what I was going to do for my final cut, so therefore I wanted to produce a much better cut of something. Good cut. Stop lying.